fellow citizens, thank you for being here at the Museum of History and Industry, affectionately known as MOHI. Within these walls live an excellent narrative of where we've been, but most importantly, where we can go as we forge our future. As a global hub for innovation, new ideas. Over the last several years, despite hardships and challenges, we've pushed forward. We've pushed forward with almost relentlessly. But we know there's so much more work to do. The state of our city, if one was to ask us, I would describe it as being persistent, pioneering. MOHI chronicles our region's past and the ideas that brought us to sort of who we are, what we've come to be. As Winston Churchill famously said, those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. You know, my wife sort of reminds me of that every day. I tell her I want to play basketball, come home with stitches and hurt back. The lesson there means we have to learn from our history. Since Seattle was incorporated over 150 years ago, we've gone through change and crisis, and each time responding with focus and ingenuity, with collaboration. In my first State of the City 2 years ago, I stressed a back-to-basics approach, a dedication to core municipal responsibilities like restoring public safety, getting people indoors, keeping parks accessible, and fixing potholes, and making sure the water's clean and the power comes on at the flip the switch. But just because something is basic and essential does not mean that there's not room for innovation, creativity. We can make it work better. That's sort of our bottom line. Now this requires us to be bold, to take chances. It's the reason that this mantra has allowed Seattle time and time again, that's why we're here, we look at our history time and time again, to pick ourselves up, back up, and change the course of our city, and in doing so, changing the world. You've heard me talk about that before. It's why our city punches way above its weight with companies that have changed how the world does business, with labor partners that have fought hard to shape nation-leading minimum wage increases and worker protections, and policymakers at the cutting edge of meaningful progressive change. And in this, what was once described as a sleepy former timber town on the ancestral lands of the Duwamish and Coast Salish people, our history tells us that it's innovation and new ideas that break through log jams and cultivate hope. What does innovation mean? Innovation means a new community-assisted response and engagement department, care department, to better help our neighbors in crisis, resulting in an improved holistic approach to a diversified public safety system. Innovation means updating our industrial and maritime zoning policies for the first time in decades, resulting in a new path of thousands of housing units, tens of thousands of jobs, and Seattle's future as a port and maritime city. That's who we are. Innovation means updating our city's tree ordinance for the first time since its creation over 15 years ago, and issuing a tree executive order to guide our work, resulting in protections for over 150,000 additional trees. A requirement to replace 3 trees for every 1 tree removed, and plans to plant thousands more annually. That's a real commitment. What does innovation mean? Innovation means looking at a unique opportunity for a lot. Been examining that for a long time. Now we've developed a plan to build up to 500 units and transform 34 underutilized acres into a new community and expanding parkland. This will last for generations. This is generational change we're creating. Innovation means piloting new electric freight trucks and replacing gas-powered leaf blowers and electric alternatives, resulting in fewer emissions and less noise and healthier communities. Now, to our returning city council members, I'm grateful for the work we've done over the last 2 years. To our new members, I am thrilled for what's next. This is my thrilled face. Giddy face. I'm proud of the ambition of your ideas. I heard them, I watched them, and the One Seattle model that will allow us to solve the greatest challenges and move Seattle into a future together. Now, one of the areas where I'm most energized to work with my new city council is public safety. Last year, overall crime fell 7%, major crime fell 6%, and property crime fell 10%. However, homicides and the damage inflicted from gun violence have increased. We have to change this. This will require supporting a comprehensive array of public safety solutions. The state's leadership to ban assault weapons last year is a significant step, and we are continuing to advocate for gun law changes in Olympia. Thanks for our team led by Gail Tarleton and others. Thank you. We have to move the needle in this respect. Last year, our officers recovered over 1,500 guns. 1,500, a record for our city. Now, I will repeat, there are too many guns in this country, on our streets, and in the wrong hands. We know this. We need to embrace new technologies funded in this year's budget to enhance the fair, effective, and constitutional policing of our officers. Last year, we as a city achieved sustained compliance with most requirements of the federal consent decree that began over a decade ago. United States Assistant Attorney General Kristen Clark came to Seattle and recognized the progress and reforms that we've made. The fact is, the use of force occurs in less than 1/4% of all police encounters. That's our new police department. I'm proud of the work that our police officers do every day and grateful for their dedication. We will continue to build the trust and confidence that the people of Seattle rightfully demand of our police department. Thank you, Chief Diaz, for being here with us today. Note to self, I mentioned Chief Diaz in his first applause line. Thank you. Keep inserting you in, apparently. In all seriousness, we are urgent of recruiting more police officers who share our values. Our monthly applications are the highest they've ever been in 3 years. We have comprehensively reviewed our recruiting system, and we're continuing to make changes to processes that have not been changed or touched in decades. Now, I don't know if moving from paper to online applications count as innovation or just plain common sense, but either way, it's an example of the kind of steps needed to bring forward a new generation of officers who continue to serve our neighborhoods and represent our communities and keep us safe. I appreciate that Councilor Bob Kettle is rightfully prioritizing this essential issue as the Council's new Public Safety Committee Chair. His six-pillar approach is a strong and good foundation. Of course, as a former player, I like going for 7. I like that extra point, so we may need to put a little extra 7 going on there at some point. And all seriousness, your 6-point approach is strong. Our administration has regularly met with other branches of government to design public safety solutions just as important as all of you are the experiences of the public. So next month, I will hold a public safety forum to hear ideas and perspectives directly from the people of Seattle and give them a place at the table and allow us to make Seattle a safer place. Last year, we worked with our Seattle firefighters on the new contract that reflects the service that they provide, the outstanding service that everyone enjoys here in Seattle. And I want to recognize the members of the International Association of Firefighters, Local 27, and its President Kenny Stewart, the Chief Scoggins, and the entire Seattle Fire Department for your partnership for us to make a safe city. And I'll clap on that. Note to self, Scoggins got a better applause than he does. Take notes for next year here. As the son of 2 city employees, I look forward to further building our commitment to our workers, being a great employer. As we deliver strong essential services for our residents and work toward agreements with our labor partners, including the Coalition of City Employees and Police Officers and many others, we realize what a critical role our labor partners play, our employees play. I talk about One Seattle, I talk about a family of employees, and that's how we approach it. At last year's State of the City address, I announced a newly envisioned care department. Now today our care department responders are redefining what public safety looks like. The care department are delivering new kinds of help to support our residents who are experiencing behavioral health crises. This work frees up our police officers to address emergencies and priority 1 situations, particularly where they're most needed, given the demands of their time. Now, when I was a kid growing up in Seattle, believe it or not, when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, there was no such thing as a 911 call in this country. Now, don't look too surprised, I see a few seasoned people out there as well. There was none when you were a kid as well. Today, in all seriousness, our 911 dispatchers are swiftly and efficiently sending care department responders to emergencies where they're most needed. And the feedback we're receiving is extremely positive. While handling over 250 incidents, only 3 times our care teams had asked police to return back to the scene. This is a great start. In fact, our data shows that in 2023, there were more than 8,000 911 calls where a care response may have been the best response. So that's why we plan on expanding the care department to increase capacity to help more people in their time of need. We'll continue to improve collaboration across the city's public safety programs, connecting previously siloed efforts and ensuring that our resources are used efficiently and effectively. But care isn't the only area where we're redefining and diversifying our public safety response. We work to keep our parks open. I'm looking at Superintendent Diaz, the other Diaz, by the way. I mentioned parks sooner or later. I'm waiting for it. Here it is. As we work to keep our parks open, clean, and accessible, and welcoming for everyone, we've boosted and bolstered our park ranger program. Park rangers had thousands of interactions with the public last year, as you well know, Director Diaz, and de-escalated over 400 potential 911 calls. That's just in downtown parks. In 2023, we increased our number of rangers by 600%, and this year we'll almost double that number, again, as rangers begin to serve parks citywide. We're very excited. Parks and community centers and playfields are the foundations for our growing young people and these difference makers for kids through healthy physical activity, healthy interaction. It exposes them to the natural world. No one knows this best other than Councilmember Joy Hollingsworth, who grew up on these playfields and understands better than most and shares my passion for public safety. After nearly a decade, it's wonderful for the LGBTQ+ community to have a representation on the City Council, especially in District 3 at a time when too many residents are feeling unsafe because of who they are. So, I don't know if that was beautiful what I said. We'll take it either way. But let me be clear, in all seriousness. No matter your sexual orientation, your gender identity, your religious, racial, or ethnic background, you are welcome in Seattle. You are safe. You are safe. You belong. This is my priority as your mayor. And I grew up in Seattle where I was not always welcome as a little biracial kid in the Central District. My father used to warn me about going to certain areas. Trust me when I say I did. We will welcome, we will love, we will embrace. And I see the issues in front of us for those who feel excluded. I am proud to be your mayor and have every member a part of our city family. This is also true for people who are sick, who are struggling, who are in need of help. Whenever I see someone needing help on our streets, I want to see them getting it. Seattle streets cannot be paved with good intentions or paved with lives of despair or crime. They must be filled with help and support, and the change we push must be sustainable. These cannot be one-offs. Since last year, we have taken strong action to address the deadly impacts of fentanyl and synthetic opioids in our city. The executive order that I issued last year set out a roadmap for a diversified approach, balancing enforcement with expanded systems of care and treatment. We've created new programs to address the harms caused by addiction and increase the tools available to our first responders. This is the balance that we struck. This is why we developed a drug use ordinance rooted in both accountability and a connection to services to get well. This ordinance, crafted under a one Seattle approach, quite honestly, we did the hard work. We brought together law enforcement, service providers, outreach workers, impact communities, experts, and we built the most comprehensive and progressive ordinance of its kind in the state. That's what we're doing here in Seattle. With our dual public safety and public health approach, SBD seized an estimated 2 million deadly fentanyl pills and is arresting dealers, traffickers, and those causing the most harm. We've also diverted nearly 150 people to caseworkers and service providers, giving people a chance to get the help that they need outside of the criminal legal system. The needs we're seeing on the streets have resulted in action. We've developed new and innovative public health programs and services in an area where the city has not historically had a leading role. Our actions include our new Health 99 post-overdose response team, our expanded mobile medication delivery for opioid use disorders, and our new contingency management drug abatement program. And next month, we'll share the details of our $7 million investment funding a post-overdose center and health facilities that will offer new ways to help people recover in their time of need. These programs. In short, these programs will save lives. I want to thank Council President Sarah Nelson for her leadership to address this synthetic drug crisis that is killing hundreds of people on our streets. She's been a strong advocate for investing in proven treatment solutions, and I want to publicly thank you and say, nice article today, too. I love the work that you are bringing with your leadership to the focus of the King County Board of Health, a body that I'm also joining to underscore the critical importance of these issues. I'm grateful for our partnership with the King County Executive, Dow Constantine, and the King County Council, and I look forward to continuing our work together to innovate and adapt programs to meet the moment, to meet the issue of the day. And just as the city and the county and the state came together to save lives during the COVID pandemic, we must bring the same resolve to the crisis playing out on our streets. That same intensity, we have to work with the same sense of intentionality. We know we have an opportunity to address the root causes of safety issues and build a city where opportunity is within the reach of every resident. That's why in 2023, we put into action our Future Seattle Economy Agenda, a strategy to promote inclusive economic growth, ensuring Seattle is a place for entrepreneurial workers and entrepreneurs and employees where a person can start and scale a business or find a good job. Our Office of Economic Development expanded access to capital for nearly 300 businesses. We launched a first-in-the-nation program for a model of small businesses, business ownership, and increased access to middle-wage jobs in growing industries like healthcare. Much needed. And under an executive order I issued last year, our government has taken tangible steps to expand contracting equity and support small businesses run by women and people of color. Another example is the Liberty Project. This is a partnership, a coordinated effort that we're investing in to make sure that the University of Washington and Shell University and Table 100 are working together. Working together. No more of a siloed approach. We've made improvements in how small businesses navigate the city, like shaving 105 days of the average time it takes for a business to have their first permit reviewed. And our Seattle Reserve program continues to fill formerly vacant storefronts with small businesses, artists, and pop-ups, some of which have turned into long-term leases. Just last week, we announced $200,000 investment from J.P. Morgan Chase to help turn many of the 30 locations into long-term leases. These are sustainable investments. Thank you, J.P. Morgan Chase, for partnering with us. It should be clear that our downtown activation plan doesn't fixate on trying to revive the old downtown. Instead, we aim to reimagine what a downtown could be. Our plan finished on 46 short and medium-term initiatives, and in less than 1 year, we made headway on 83% of them. We announced it, we measured, we implemented. Our downtown activation plan is gaining momentum as we activate downtown. Here are some statistics. More than 106,000 residents are now living downtown. Over 80,000 workers come to their offices Monday through Friday. Let me repeat that, Monday through Friday. Highest number of hotel rooms sold in summer since 2019. That's what we were able to achieve. And a record-shattering 2023 summer with over 11 million visitors downtown, 3 million of which came in July for the Major League Baseball All-Star Game and major concerts. Hey, when Taylor Swift was here, she caused an earthquake. You all remember that. And if you think that was fun, wait until the 2026 FIFA World Cup gets here. This is the equivalent of 6 Super Bowls played in our city over the course of 3 weeks. Seattle will welcome hundreds of thousands of visitors around the world, with over 1 billion people watching from around the world. This city here in Seattle, and we will be ready. Speaking of sports, now that I'm finally over my trauma of the Huskies losing the national championship, well, not quite over the trauma, still a little traumatized. I'm ready to add another point to our 46 points of our downtown activation plan. Bringing the Sonics back. You're standing his attention over there when I said that. So you see, so that perked up all of a sudden. NBA teams are already choosing to play preseason games right here, and that's a clear sign that the Seattle Center and Climbers Pledge Arena are ready for NBA action. We stand ready to do whatever it takes to bring back the green and gold, and we all know we have won championships here before, and we will again. Chris, that's all I'm giving you right now. It's just a teaser, Chris. But we stand ready. In all seriousness, 2024 is a huge year for Seattle's new waterfront. A prime example of what we called when we first took office as spacing of thinking. 500,000 visitors came to the waterfront last year. After more than 2 decades of collaboration between civic, business, and community leaders, we are well on our way to completing our world-class waterfront. A waterfront that is reimagined, open, accessible, green, and activated. Next year, we get to celebrate this historic completion together. Now, arts and culture are an important part of our downtown activation plan as part of our identity as a city. We rely on artists and arts organizations to energize, bring life to our public spaces, and support surrounding businesses. The arts draw people, brings out the best in us, making Seattle a place where people want to visit, linger, live. King County's new arts schedule will invest $90 million to revive the creative economy as our Office of Arts and Culture work to beautify spaces and support lively activities downtown. So my vision, I should be clear on this, is a Seattle where our walls are filled with beautiful murals and public art. This is also a pillar of our holistic strategy to address the impacts of unwanted graffiti, tagging, and vandalism. Thank you to City Attorney Ann Davidson for your work on this issue, including your work to ensure accountability for those causing harm to our residents and neighbors. Thank you, Ann. Describe the positive change neighbors are seeing from our efforts in partnership with Uplift Northwest relative to graffiti. They employ formerly homeless people to ensure, to learn new work skills, ensure that we're doing this abatement work to clean up graffiti across downtown. Here are some description of what the city staff has done. City staff worked on 27,000 graffiti removals at 23,000 locations in 2023. The Uplift Northwest partnership yielded an additional 385 private property locations. In total, we've cleaned up over 100,000 square feet of graffiti. New energy, new intensity, new willingness to clean up our city in so many ways. From SoDo to the Chinatown International District, our downtown, we know, is a very special place because it's diverse. It's diverse in how we describe the place, and its people, and its industry, and its jobs, making these neighborhoods safe and activated for small businesses and community members remains one of our priorities. Councilmember Tunein, thank you for your work, and congratulations to the City Council. I so look forward to working together on initiatives citywide and for lasting improvements for our cherished Chinatown International District. Congratulations, Councilmember. From South Lake Union, where we're standing today, all the way to South Downtown, where we believe that now is the time to create an urban development vision for a new kind of neighborhood, running south of Columbia, north of Holgate, east of Little Saigon, west to Pier 48. I know I'm very descriptive there, because we will advance a very coordinated, targeted growth strategy within this footprint. With several major projects on the way, it's a rare alignment that gives us a unique opportunity we haven't seen in decades to design and foster a new neighborhood that demonstrates that downtown is forever. So when I talk about the big ball in our administration, this is a chance to significantly increase people living downtown with affordable housing, grocery stores, child care, high quality jobs, a diverse and vibrant small businesses, and indeed cultural spaces. All of this action calls for a cohesive approach to align outcomes to make sure that decisions are made in sync across many projects. Our downtown activation plan also includes innovative efforts to transform underutilized office space into residential uses and other uses, optimizing our built environment for the current needs of a modern city. So next month, my office will deliver legislation to City Council to turn this big idea into a reality through permitting improvements and incentives based on insights from architects and building owners and housing leaders and housing advocates. And even as we change building uses and encourage more residential skyscrapers and support significant growth downtown, we know that growth can't only occur downtown. We are aware of this. Seattle must be a city for students, and teachers, and workers, and indeed our families, for people of all income levels. And as I've said before, we know the answer to homelessness starts with more housing and places for people to come inside. That's why within the next 2 weeks we'll release the details of our One Seattle Comprehensive Plan update. And this is our master plan for growth. It's just one part of a bold One Seattle housing agenda that allows new kinds of housing across the city and brings missing middle housing to every neighborhood and expands density citywide with a focus on areas where there is strong transit, access close to shopping and other services and other amenities that indeed families want. My housing agenda will create opportunities for new generational wealth, simplify nearly 300 separate zoning categories, and create complete neighborhoods and reduce permitting timelines and other barriers to development. The state of Washington took an important step in asking every city to do its part and make it easier to build affordable, family-friendly housing. But Seattle is already leading the way. The housing agenda, this housing agenda that I've described will not only adopt the spirit of these changes, but continue to point the way forward for our entire region. I look forward to working with Councilmember Tammy Morales, a former planner herself, I might add, on the comprehensive plan update as we work to create this much-needed housing. We are making the largest investments in affordable housing in our city's history. 1,400 units opened last year, and another 7,600 are in the pipeline. And thanks to the voters who approved the significant renewal of our proven housing levy, we will build at least 3,100 more affordable homes. In our first year, I described the goal of ensuring permit approval in less than 1 year for affordable housing projects. In 2023, we overwhelmingly met that goal. More housing. And our approach to the homelessness crisis reflects a back-to-basics approach to a belief rooted in compassion. We believe that those suffering deserve better than living outdoors, and that public spaces like parks and sidewalks should be safe and accessible for everybody. Our innovation was the creation of the Unified Care Team, a proof positive idea that we can achieve progress on each of these ideals without sacrificing the other. We created a state-of-the-art system that informs a data-driven, objective, and equitable approach to resolving encampments, for those living in them and for the neighbors where they are located. The results are significant. Since the foundation of the Unified Care Team, we've increased shelter referrals by 83%. Over 1,000 people have come indoors. And tents on sidewalks and in parks have been reduced by half, from over 1,000 when I first took office. Now, this is an approach that's safer for everyone. It's delivered a 41% decrease in gun violence incidents related to homelessness and a 16% decrease in fires at encampments or lived in RVs. Again, I started my words, we seek to learn from our history. The latest example is the launch of a dedicated neighborhood team approach for each region of the city, allowing them to build personalized relationships with the communities in the neighborhoods and the people housed and unhoused to help them come inside. Councilmember Marissa Rivera recognized that this level of neighborhood-based constituent service makes a big difference for our Seattle neighbors. She's made school safety and constituent service a top priority since taking office. Thank you, Councilmember Rivera. Just as our departments can't work in silos to make progress on the homelessness crisis, neither can the cities that make up King County. As with any new organization or innovation, the King County Regional Homelessness Authority has taken steps forward, but indeed there have also been bumps along the road. So this year, we will drive needed changes to improve oversight and accountability and foster stronger regional collaboration and solutions. A regional approach means that there is permanent supportive housing and services in every community in our region, not just in Seattle.